Disclaimer: this video contains spoilers for Transformers 1. It's brand new, so I want to make sure there's enough warning for this one, alright? We got a quick video today, so let's get started. There's something special about going to the movie theater and seeing a movie that winds up being really good. You know, you're there, you might not know what to expect, and you come out of it and it was a great time. Doesn't even matter how it was a great time, just that it was a great time. For me, there's an added layer of enjoyment when I watch a good movie whose main characters also happen to be Optimus Prime and Megatron. I've been on a bit of a wild road with this movie. When the cast was first announced, I was very skeptical, even disappointed like a lot of people out there. You know, it felt like celebrity stunt casting at first glance. And in the year that followed, that feeling never truly went away until the first teaser came out. It was weirdly controversial for its sense of humor, but my only thought coming out of it was, this looks like fun. It was completely different from what I expected the movie to be, and upon seeing the road they wanted to take the story, I was fully on board. The second trailer made the movie look even better, and I had the thought enter my mind, could this be a genuinely good Transformers movie? Like, not something that's just enjoyable on the surface level of being Transformers, but something genuinely good? And I am pleased to announce that that hope was well placed, because not only is Transformers 1 a good movie, it is by far the best Transformers movie. The 1986 movie is fun, the first Michael Bay movie will always hold a special place to me, but this is the first time I felt all of the proper emotions the movie wanted me to from front to back. After having been a fan of Transformers for 17 years, this is the movie that I've always wanted. A Cybertron-based story, the robots take center stage, the conflict between Optimus and Megatron is brought to the forefront, but with a bunch of additional cool stuff like a great-looking Cybertron, additional fun characters like B-127 and Elita 1, some fun humor, and even a great score by Brian Tyler. He, of course, has some Transformers street cred already with the score for Transformers Prime, which I think is great, by the way, and some of those motifs even work their way into this movie. But most of it's entirely original, and the themes here, from the techno-sounding stuff to the heroic motifs and even to the darker, more emotional stuff, it's played very well. Obviously, this is a kids' movie, the first one to gear itself to a younger audience since 1986. And with that comes bright colors, a fast, energetic pace, and a shorter runtime, sitting at only 1 hour 40 minutes. The movie definitely moves fast, but I never felt it was rushed at any point. It had a lot to set up, a lot to pay off, but it used the time effectively, gave every moment its due, and didn't let anything linger for too long. It's also clear from pretty much minute one that so many people who worked on this movie were fans. This movie is on one hand super easy to get into if you've never seen anything Transformers in your life. It's a great entry point, but on the other hand, for people like me who know so much, it's a joy. So many characters, so many background Easter eggs, dialogue references, creative art direction, little details here and there. I mean, I'm not a guy that loves to point at characters I know and have that be the basis for my entire enjoyment, but when Transformers does it, I can be flexible. But while the references and Easter eggs are definitely fun, and scrolling through this movie frame by frame will be a blast once it's on Blu-ray, it still comes through on its story. Despite my initial reservations, the entire cast here is great. Chris Hemsworth is great as a younger, more naive Orion Pax, channeling a bit of that Peter Cullen voice, but without a doubt making this character his own, bringing his own sound. Lawrence Fishburne, of course, brings a lot of gravitas to Alpha Trion. John Hamm perfectly plays up the phony good guy leader of Sentinel Prime, and equally plays the mischievous side of the character super well. Steve Buscemi, while only here briefly, plays a great new Starscream, and they even do a brief gag with his voice that's pretty fun. Keegan-Michael Key is great as B-127, or Bumblebee. He brings a nice sense of humor. It's kind of a meta joke about how Bumblebee seems to always get his voice box ripped out. You know, there's rarely a moment here where he's not talking. Although when the movie needs him to play it straight, he also pulls that off. It's not all jokes. Scarlett Johansson is also fantastic as Elita 1, a big standout to me, to be honest. I liked how she just absolutely hated the main characters at the start, and then slowly grew to care about them by the end. The movie doesn't go fully into a romance subplot with her and Orion, but there are certainly hints, and maybe an avenue to tackle that in the future if they really felt like it. But of course, the real standout in this movie is Brian Tyree Henry as D-16, who of course becomes the ruthless Decepticon leader, Megatron. His arc and his performance is absolutely central to this movie, and honestly the thing that surprised me the most. I had my sights on the journey of Orion Pax before I saw the movie, but Megatron stole the show just as much. He starts as such an idealistic and rule-following miner before learning a terrible truth about Sentinel Prime, a leader he idealized but turned out to be a complete fraud, and he immediately enters a quest for revenge. There's a moment where, just after learning the truth, D16 admits with his whole chest that he just wants to kill Sentinel. When that line hit and there was a beat of silence right after, I smiled ear to ear. It was like, there he is. That's Megatron. It only got better with the canon reveal later and the final attack on Sentinel Prime. Megatron fully steals the show and Brian Tyree Henry delivers a great performance. But even still, for me, without a doubt, the main selling point of this movie was Optimus Prime. Ever since seeing the first movie back in 2007, Optimus Prime has not only been my favorite Transformers character, but my favorite character ever. I mean, he's my profile picture for a reason. The sense of nobility, optimism, hope, a great voice no matter the incarnation, and anytime he's on screen it's like, that's the guy. But there have been a few recent versions that I haven't liked, and when I feel like they get Optimus wrong, it hits so much harder because I like the character so much. If I didn't care, then Optimus being racist in Rise of the Beasts wouldn't bother me as much.
I should have known better than to rely on humans.
Why are you saying that, sir? But there are many moments in this where Orion Pax slowly came into his own as a leader, as a rallying force for good that I couldn't help but think, that's him. That's Optimus Prime. And it all leads to his eventual rise. The falling out of Orion Pax and D16 comes to fruition in a deeply tragic and yet also cathartic way. The movie cross-cuts between the rise of Megatron and the rise of Optimus Prime. Putting the two moments together as they both fulfill their destinies. A fantastic directorial and editing choice. And it all built to Orion getting the matrix of leadership and becoming Optimus Prime. The moment he slammed into the ground and the music swelled into this heroic piece, it's honestly the closest I've ever gotten to cheering in a movie theater. I didn't cheer because I don't really like doing that, but I got really damn close. This time I really truly felt that they got it right. Optimus Prime was on the big screen and I saw it with my own eyes. He might not have been voiced by Peter Cullen, and I certainly wouldn't complain if he was, but Chris Hemsworth played the moment well, the whole movie played the moment well, and it's probably one of the most exciting moments I've ever had watching a movie in the theater. And the movie leaves off two very interesting hooks to explore in the future. There's a potential Quintesson attack and invading force from them, and the very last post-credit scene spills that Megatron and the Decepticons will no doubt make a total mess of Cybertron at their earliest opportunity. This was great. For the first time on the big screen, I felt all of it. Beyond nostalgia and beyond being a kid who will enjoy anything with these robots. I liked the Bumblebee movie well enough. In fact, I liked that movie quite a bit, but I think this blows that one out of the water. It has so many powerful moments, so many great lines, a bunch of funny lines, and a character journey for both Optimus and Megatron that I'll be thinking about for a good while. I've had ideas in my head for years of what an Optimus and Megatron origin story could look like on the big screen. And while this is certainly different, it accomplishes things even better than I had come up with. And I also really enjoy that it was genuinely a Transformers story. It wasn't making up a bunch of stuff like the Transformers were friends with King Arthur, actually. It was well and truly a Transformers movie. That's what I've been waiting for 17 years. All this is to say, if you have any interest at all in seeing this movie, head out and see it. It's a great time. It looks great, it sounds great, it tells a fun, heartfelt story, and if it makes enough money, they'll make a sequel. I'm super down for that. If the same creative people are able to continue this story from where they left off, there's plenty of potential going forward. So there you have it, a brief review of Transformers 1. I know compared to what I normally do, this is like a blink and it's over type of video, but I felt inspired enough to talk about it before I one day cover it in a full-blown 5th part of my Transformers retrospective. Not to say that that's happening anytime soon, but it will probably happen one day. As of now, I'm still working on the Star Wars retrospective. As I mentioned on my Twitter, all 4 parts are fully done. I just have to get them past copyright, which is proving to be a bit of a battle, so hang tight for that. As for now, I really enjoyed Transformers 1. I hope it does well enough to get a sequel. I hope the sequel is also good, and I hope if you've seen it, you also enjoyed the movie. So thank you for watching this really quick video. This has been fun. But I'm going to go head back into the gauntlet now and try and get Star Wars past the bouncer. So this will be the end of this video, and I will see you guys later.